you turn on this fan? It's in that corner. Shri Krishna. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hari Om. These classes got suspended before the CamtraCon. After that, one after the other weekend, there have been rigorous meetings and meetings and meetings. But I'm glad we finally made it to this class. In this particular talk series, we have been looking into the Kathopanishad, and as the spelling reads, Kathopanishad. So do not pronounce it as Kathopanishad, because it is in the format of a story, and we usually hear people saying it as Kathopanishad, but it is not the, it is tha. So it is Kathopanishad. In this particular story so far, from the first mantra, if you look at it, Vajashravasa Sarva Veda Samdadav. Vajashravasa, he was performing this yajna, and his son Nachiketa was not too very pleased with his father's efforts. He was still a very young kid, a little kid. In spite of his age, he was thinking way beyond his age. And he was not too very pleased with what his father was doing. So he goes to his father, and his father gets agitated with him. And in this particular yajna, it is that you have to give that which you own as your best. Everything. Sarva Vedasam Dadav. Everything has to be given up. And his father was not giving good ones, but he was giving the ones which were almost about to be thrown away, or they are done with their utility. So donating that would incur sin. So he thought and said, I don't want to agitate my dad, but what he's doing is not right either. So how do I save him from this erroneous thing that he is getting into? After enough thought, he comes to his dad and says, Dad, I am your favorite son. Who do you want me to be given to? And his father seems that, looks at that a very absurd question. And why would I give you to anyone? Finally, in irritation, when you are agitated, we don't really mean what we say, but we end up saying things that we regret. His father says, literally translating it, it almost means go to hell, meaning go to Yama. And he takes this very seriously. And then he sits by himself and he starts pondering upon fifth mantra on page 11. He says, Bahunamemi prathamaha, bahunamemi madhyamaha, kim svid yamasya kartavyam yanmayadya karishyasi. My dad, when he was my teacher, and I'm not a very bad student either, or a bad son either. Bahunamemi prathamaha. Among many, I have been standing as the best. And there are some fields, I don't say that I am perfect, but in many other fields, yes, I'm not the best, but I'm not, bad either. I'm maybe mediocre, maybe somewhere in the middle. But anyway, my dad has given his direction that I should go to Yama. I think I should be leaving for Yama's palace. I left you dangling last time to think, did he go with body? Did he not go with body? Did he go as a soul? Did he go as... I would still leave that as to your imaginations. I'd still leave that to your imaginations and continue with the story. So the next mantra that we should continue from this week on is on 14, page number 14, sixth mantra. And I have already informed that the literature of the Vedas are not to be mentioned as shloka, but they are the mantras. Anything that has been authored, like in the Smriti Grantha or Purana, they are called shloka. That which comes from the Vedas, they are called mantra. So the sixth mantra, repeat after me. Anupashya yatha purve, anupashya yatha purve, pratipashya tatha pare, tatha pare, sasyamiva martyah pachyate, sasyamiva jayate punaha. Anupashya yatha purve. See, this is a good directive. Somebody that you hold in high esteem, somebody that you respect, revere and love, somebody that you adore as an ideal in your life. To have one such is good, because whenever we are in a confused situation, we can always think, what would that person have done if that person was in my situation? Would they have taken this option or that option? Now in Nachiketa's case, should I listen to my father, who happens to be my guru as well? Or should I say that, Dad, maybe you are angry. Do you want to think about it again? What would my ancestors have done? When a directive from a guru is given, it is taken with such sincerity that you end up doing exactly as being directed. Therefore, to find one such in life is also a great blessing. Anupashya yatha purve. That is what my ancestors have done. Pratipashya tatha pare. After me, there will be so many. For them, I should be the ideal. Therefore, I should take the path which is the most right one, Shreyaskara. The most absolute good. It should be the path of my choice. And I should not leave any room for ambiguity for my generations that would come after me. They should have an inspiration. They should have an ideal. So he looked at from both standpoints. What should I do in reference to what guidance and ideals that have been given by my ancestors, that whatever I do will make them proud. And I should also be the ideal for my next generations. And what a deep thought for a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old probably in today's world would not even care about thinking all these things. Now here is this kid who is thinking so deep. He says, whatever I do should be an ideal. And he makes a very nonchalant statement. Sasyamiva martyah pachyate sasyamiva jayate punaha. Oh well, what about life and death? He gives an example. He says, in the field, corn, every year as a crop, you produce corn, it is born, and again you take those seeds and again you sow them, it will again be born. One crop is dead, the other crop is born. One crop is the cause for the next crop to come. So whatever good actions that I have done, I think in this life, this is it, that I have lived whatever I have lived, whatever I have done, I have done. Whatever acquired punya is, I have acquired it. Now that I am helping my dad in fulfilling his vrata. So that is also a good act, and I am leaving a good ideal for my next generations to come. So I don't need to worry about this birth and death. It will take its own course. Like the crops grow and be the cause for the next set of crops to be born. So my good actions will take care of me. Can you imagine the confidence that a 5-year-old has? That I am not somebody who is a bad person. I am not somebody who has done something extremely bad. I have enough confidence that I have done good in my life. And my good will take care of me. That is why in the Smriti Granthas there is a reference. It says, Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. You do dharma, you do things according to the value-based living, full of morals and ethics. Those morals, ethics and values will be your backbone. Those will come back to save you. Now thinking thus, he departed for the next world. Where did he go? So that is given in the next mantra. Vaishvanaraha pravishati. Okay, page number 17. It took a while for you to move to page number 17. Repeat again. Vaishvanaraha pravishati. Athitir brahmano gruhan. Tasyaitam shantim kurvanti hara vaivasvatodakam. Now here the Rishi, Kathaka Rishi, who is commenting on this particular episode, capturing the message of this episode, he is giving his side conversation. It is, this Nachiketa left for Yamaloka. And what happened there? So before explaining what happened there, he is giving us a little rule. Now what does the rule book say? Vaishvanaraha pravishati athitir brahmano gruhan. When Atithi comes into our house, it is like the brilliant flames of fire has entered into your home. There is a lot of history and a lot of etiquettes that has to be understood here. Vaishvanaraha pravishati athitir brahmano gruhan. Atithi. Who is a Atithi? Tithi. Tithi means date. Somebody who has informed you prior to their coming, and such one is called Abhyagati. Abhyagati, the one who has given you date, time, place, and taken an appointment and dropped in is called Abhyagati. Agati, the one who has come. Abhyagati, who has just come in with proper scheduling. Abhyagati. Atithi, the one who has not given any specific time, date or place. He just dropped by. In our culture, that is the beauty of our culture. We don't call them as gate crashers. We don't call them, what is it, party poopers? Something I have heard that. Wedding crashers, party crashers, gate crashers. But our Samskriti, our culture has taken it to a totally different level. Because psychologically, when somebody drops in uninformed, everybody reacts. Don't we? You know, at least called, you should at least informed. What would you just can't just barge in? These are the commentaries that is happening inside. Though externally you will have that fake smile, plastic smile on your face, and then say, "Ah, long time no see, come in." Could I just inform me? So the scriptures say, Atithi, who is an Atithi? Devo Bhava. That Atithi is Bhagavan Narayana himself walking into your house. Now when you look at it from that perspective, can you be angry with the Lord of your own heart? In fact, it is an opportunity to serve that Lord in that form. So there is a thankfulness instead of frustration. Oh Lord, thank you for coming in this form. What an opportunity for me to serve. And that is why it is embedded into Indian culture, Hindu culture, that anybody walking into our house at any point of time, day, doesn't matter. When they come in, we invite them, give them a seat, offer them water, juice or some kind of a refreshment. And then we do inquire about food. We do offer them food. And if they are in, I just had my food. You don't say that, when somebody walks in, well, you have come around, just after lunchtime. You may have had your dinner or you may have had your lunch, right? You don't need food. You don't start the conversation that way. You would say, it's just about lunchtime. What about your food? Can I make you something? Can I get you something? If not, at least you will offer the Sanjeevani Kashaya. You know what is Sanjeevani Kashaya? That very herb which was given by Hanumanji to revive Lakshmana. Do you know what that Sanjeevani herb is? Tea. When you go to India, you have what, 1 month vacation, and in that 1 month you have place A, place B, place C, and in each place you have 10-15 houses to visit, and you have about 5 days to check your list. On the top of that, you have your purchases, your clothes, your ornaments, your whatever needs to be purchased. And then you have to visit all these people's house. You go to one person's house and miss other person's house, they'll feel very let down. So you go to from one house to the other. Once you go to a house, it starts with tea, then goes into lunch, then after lunch there is snack, then after snack there is again tea, then it continues. It's like a saga. Sometimes Indian hospitality almost sounds like hostility. It takes you to hospitality. They overstuff you. Even if you go to somebody's house late night, 11:30, 12, and it's just a visit, 15 minutes just to say hi, insistence. चाय तो पिएंगे थोड़ा, little bit of chai. So when a Atithi comes into your house, he is like the brilliant fire walking into your house, the glowing illumination of that fire walking into your house. And how do you appease, how do you serve that Lord in that form? It says, the tasyaitam shantim kurvanti hara vaivasvatodakam. That you give them, you first start with inviting them in and giving them refreshing water first. I'll tell you a story. Once with one of our Swamijis, we went into a place. Sometimes the experiences are stranger than fiction. So we were 3 or 4 of us with this Swamiji, and all 4 of us were invited by this enthusiastic person. He said, my blessing that I have this opportunity to feed all of you, you should come home. We took it seriously and dropped in to his home for dinner. But at his home, the situation was entirely different. None of the family members were, they didn't like any of Hinduism or culture, or especially the sannyasis. And 4 of them standing there, the look in their eyes were very bitter. So much so that they outright said that, ask them to get out now. And this fellow was feeling bad and he was trying to shout back at them. We pulled him back. You know your family better. And if they don't like it, why are you pushing this on to them? You shouldn't have asked us to come even. So 4 of us were about to leave, and the Swamiji said, no, wait. We have dropped into their house as an Atithi. Go at least fetch a glass of water for each one of us. And when somebody is so insulting and doesn't care, you don't want to stay there even a minute. The other 3 of us, we were very young and we were boiling from inside, like, we get out of this place. Why do we need to stay here? The Swamiji just, with his look, which had turned from a look to a stare to a glare, I said, okay, we shouldn't argue right now. We shouldn't talk about it. Okay, we'll follow as he's saying. And we just gulped that water down and we left. And en route, before we could pounce on him, asking as to why did you force us to? He said, this is what the scriptures say, that if you go as an Atithi, it does not matter if you are a Swami or a Grihastha or a Brahmachari or a Vanaprastha, doesn't matter. If you are an Atithi in somebody's house, and they do not have the samskara or they do not have the culture in taking care of you by at least offering you water, do good to them, ask for water. Otherwise, their entire punya gets burnt away. Whatever little punya that they have, it gets burnt away because it is the Atithi who has been neglected. So there are 2 things to learn. One, when you go as an Atithi, at least take a glass of water, sit down there, take a glass of water, take a sip, at least a sip, and then walk out of that house. And when somebody comes into your house, make sure you treat them well. So this is the rule. This is the etiquettes of our Samskriti, of our Hindu Samskriti. This is what the Vedas say. Now, based off of it, now the story continues. Now, the next mantra, the 8th mantra. Asha pratikshe sangatam sunrutam cha ishta purte putra pashumscha sarvan ye tadvrungte purushasya अल्पमेधसः यस्यानश्नन् वसति ब्राह्मणो गृहे. So if there is a atithi in your house and does not partake, and you do not treat them, you do not take care of them with proper hospitality, then what happens? Asha pratikshe sangatam sunrutam cha ishta purte putra pashunscha sarvan. This is your hopes, your expectations, your fruits of actions, company of good men, merits of your good karma, your friends, all the sacrifices and great deeds, the punya that you have acquired through these great deeds, all the pious gifts that were given to you, your children and family and the belongings, cattle, everything will get destroyed if your atithi and the atithi is not taken care of. So do not frown upon when you have a guest, and when the guest comes in, take care of them with proper attitude. Otherwise, all these things can be lost. It's pretty serious. It's a list of things that are destroyed by just neglecting one atithi. So, what happened to Nachiketa? He went there. Now, Mr. Yama, he is in a very precarious condition. Why? He lives in Swarga. He lives in heavens. He is a god, god of death. But where is his office? I mean, he has various branches all across the 14 worlds. But his main head office, where is it? On the threshold of Swarga and Naraka. On the borders of Swarga and Naraka. So every day he has to go to his office. And you can imagine how many people die in the world every day. Scores of them. And he has to maintain the accounts for each one of them. And according to their good deeds or bad deeds, he has to award them heaven or hell. He has to maintain these. So when Nachiketa arrived at Lord Yama's residence, he did not go to the office because he was not somebody who was due to die, but he was offered to Yama, so he went directly to his home. And Yama was out of station. He is based out of Swarga, but he travels all across 14 worlds. He has that global travel and TSA pre-approved and everything. So he has got the green card, red card, blue card, whatever card is required in whichever loka. Probably most of the lokas are so dreaded by looking at him that they don't even ask for a card. So he was busy somewhere. He was not home. And this Nachiketa goes there and says, knock, knock. Who is there? No, who is not there in this case? Yama is not there. And I said, okay. If Yama is not there, I will not step in. Because my job is with Yama. I was directed to come and meet Yama. So he stands outside. He waits for Yama. So this is the background. So the mantra continues. The 9th mantra on page 22. Tisro ratrihi yadavatsir grihe me anashnan brahman Athitirnamasyaha Namastestu Brahman Swasti me astu Tasmat prati Teen varan vrinishva. So he stood there outside for 3 nights. And Yama must have just returned. And as Yama returned, his wife, his ministers, and everybody were like eagerly waiting for him and must have pounced on him. Do you know what is Yama's vehicle? What is Yama's vehicle? Not a Yamaha. So he travels on a he bull. I mean a he buffalo, not bull, he buffalo. And he must have just gotten off his saddle that his ministers and wife and everybody were so tensed. Hey, Yama, you know, there's this Brahmin boy, he's little but he's so insistent, obstinate kid. He's been there standing at our door and he doesn't want to come in, he doesn't accept any hospitality. We are nervous, we are nerve-wrackingly, you know, he doesn't even speak to us. He says, I have come here for Yama and when he comes, please usher me in, I will directly talk to Yama. And this Yama, who is a fear, who is a scare for the entire creation, trembles. Because 3 days that Atithi has been without any water or hospitality. And outside the house, outside that threshold, he's been standing. Yama is a bulky personality. Imagine, in that trembling fear, he is running. And he runs there to that threshold and finds this little kid standing there. He suddenly stands up looking at Yama, does his, the little kid does his namaskar, chamatkar. Yama says, wait. That all is okay. 3 nights, what wrong did I do to you that you did not take any hospitality? But I apologize. I apologize that you came in and I was not here in offering you good. I was not a good host. I was not here. And wherever I was, the cell phone network was not working, so people couldn't reach me. And it took me 3 days to come here. I am really sorry. In Kali Yuga, it had been different issue. Too bad, man. You should have informed. At least texted. At least left a voicemail. If I was not there, you would have at least gone inside or at least taken a room or something, waiting at my threshold. Is there a usage like when they say good for you? Is that bad for you? Is there a usage like that? I'll invent one. Too bad. You dumb kid. And that's what probably we would have said today. Well, Yama was trembling and he says, Anashnan Brahman Atithir Namasyaha. Oh Atithi, I am trembling here because I could not be a good host, and he does namaskar to this Atithi. Namaste astu Brahman swasti me astu. Please invoke all goodwill from your behalf. He is just a kid. And who is asking for forgiveness is Lord Yama himself. And he says, please forgive my absence. Because I was not a good host and I did not receive you well, and you were standing outside for 3 nights, as a prayaschitta, as a penance on my behalf, I will award you 3 boons. Please ask of me any 3 boons. And this should be created as a workshop. If you were standing in front of Yama and you are Nachiketa, what are the 3 boons that you would ask for? Once in a Balavihar setup, and very recently, I asked them, what would you ask? And this kid was very sure. He got up and he said, I would ask for iPad. There's some new version that has come in. So iPad, iPhone 6 Plus, iWatch. So 3. So 3 boons. I need 3. Now look at the maturity of this young little kid. What does he ask for in these 3 boons? And this is where the actual Upanishad, when the Upanishad has started, it was just a story so far. Now from here starts the crux of this Upanishad. So this brilliant kid, my personal ideal, favorite. What does he say? He says in the 10th mantra, next page, Shanta Sankalpaha Sumana Yatha Syat Vitamanyuhu Gautamo Mabhimrityo Tvat Prasrishtam Mabhivadet Pratita Ye Tatrayanam Prathamam Varam Vrane. What a amazing kid with such clarity and depth in his actions. He says, Hey Mrityo, O Yamadharma Raja, my first boon, Etat Trayanam Prathamam Varam Vrane. Of the 3 boons that you are giving me, this is the first one that I seek of you. Now what is the first one? He says, please bless my father. Gautama, my father, bless him. What are the things that you are asking for? Shanta Sankalpaha. Shanta Sankalpaha, may he be at peace. Sumanaha, Sumana, may he develop sweetness in his heart. Vitamanyuhu, Vitamanyuhu, may he get rid of his anger for good. Vitamanyuhu. Ma abhimrityo, and Yama, may he have no anger towards me specifically. Because I was an obstinate child who kept pestering him, asking him, and he lost it. And whatever he has said, I have followed that instructions. I am standing in front of you. And my father, he must have been feeling bad. Feeling bad from all perspectives. He was doing a big yaga and he was not doing it properly. And others did not have courage to call him out. I, his own son, called him out in front of everybody. And that was like a insult to him. So he must have been feeling bad. Second, in that fit of anger, I know I was one of his favorite children. I was one of his favorite students. I know how much he must have missed, how much he must have felt bad in cursing me this way. He must have been beating himself up. He would not have excused himself for having done what he had done. So may he be pacified. May he have peace of mind. He does not say, that dad of mine, cruel fellow, I was doing good for him and instead he sent me to you. Make sure that he learns his lesson. No. His standpoint was, whatever has happened for my own good, that I have this brilliant opportunity to stand in front of you. So let me use this opportunity as a son. It is my responsibility, however be my father, however be my parents. It is my responsibility to take care of them in spite of what they have done. They may not have been great parents, but because they have not been great parents, it doesn't deserve me to be a bad child. Let me be that good child and invoke forgiveness and peace in his heart. Shanta sankalpaha sumana. May his mind be filled with good memories. See, inside we have both parts, right? We have good memories and we have bad memories. There are some situations wherein there are some bad memories and we put it on a 24/7 by 365, a loop, and we keep going over these constantly. I shouldn't have done it, I don't know why I did it. Constantly you're thinking of things that will not bring any change even if you think that way. So may he be kindled with sweet memories. May his heart be filled with positive thoughts. May his heart be filled with good memories. May he have a sweetness filled heart rather than with bitterness for whatever he had done. See how much he thought in asking for forgiveness for his father who had done something wrong. And then he says, may my father may he get rid of all the anger, especially towards me. So far is a brilliant, beautiful, sweet blessings that he has. As a child, his first responsibility he was fulfilling towards his father. But then within that first boon, he was a sharp kid. So what does he say? He says, Tuvat prasrishtam. Now that I have come, seen you, and you would not keep me here, right? You would send me back anyway. And that was not a part of the deal. He had not promised that he would send him back. I said, you are a good-hearted person, you will be sending me back anyways. When you send me back, look at that, he is already included. This should have been a second boon. But he makes it a part of the first boon in such a way that, why am I asking about he not being angry with me? Because when you send me back, after our discussion, when you send me back, he should not be shocked that, where is this fellow coming from? He should forget all those episodes that have happened and accept me back as his own child, as his own student. How many things he has covered in here. And what is the saying? You give them an inch and they take you by a... you give an inch, they take a mile. This is this kid. He gave 3 boons, and first boon it was like multiple choice, like this also, that also, and so sweetly adds in. Why am I asking that he should not be angry, especially with me? Because when you will send me back, he should not have this bitterness in his heart. He should accept me back as his own child and son, forgetting all the things that have happened between us. This is my first boon that I am asking. So Yama must have looked at this kid and said, kiddo, you are a smart cookie. What a brilliant way of asking forgiveness for your dad and you to get back into life again. So with a smile of contentment, there is a smart kid standing in front. When every teacher, when they come across a brilliant